I'm playing Scepter Chant and Lantern Control, and honestly, I think there might be something here. Just wild thoughts for a wild league. Today, I'm doing something pretty spicy. We are playing Scepter Chant in Lantern Control. This thought kind of came to me after the release of Great Hall of the Biblioplex. Lantern Control, playing this land, really wants to play a lot of artifacts, instants, and sorceries. Fortunately, Lantern Control is already very good at playing all three of these cards. So I thought to myself, what's an artifact that's good with instants and sorceries? And lo and behold, it's of course Isochron Scepter. This is a 2-drop. When it enters, you imprint an instant card with mana value 2 or less from your hand, and then you can pay 2 and tap it to cast a copy of the imprinted card. This is commonly paired with Orm's Chant, where you can have your opponent not cast spells this turn. And since Isochron Scepter has you cast a copy of the imprinted card, you can kick Orm's Chant on top of the 2 you pay for Scepter. So that means that creatures can't attack either. So this could theoretically be a replacement for Ensnaring Bridge, and it could be a much harder lock that would be easier for the natural Lantern lock to supplement. I'm also playing a playset of Drown in the Lock because I have heard that putting counter magic and removal underneath of a Scepter is pretty good. And Drown has been reasonably impressive in the leagues that I've played with it, so I figured I would actually give it a shot. And the cool thing about Isochron Scepter is you can just cast Whir of Invention and put a Scepter into play, imprint an Orm's Chant, and then immediately just start chanting locking people. Sideboard is a complete mess. I kind of just threw this together in a haze last night. I was tired. I wasn't really thinking about it. It's just got a whole bunch of random stuff in there. That is not what we're testing today. This Isochron Scepter plus Orm's Chant lock, this is what we are doing today. So I will spin up a league and I will be right back with match 1 for y'all. I am on the draw here in match 1 versus ODlS? Ode something. Odie. Their name is Odie. I've got a hand with a lot of clunkers in it. It only needs either any 1-drop artifact or another land to get off the ground. And this hand just kind of casts bridge after bridge after bridge. I'm going to choose to keep it. Whir of Invention will pair nicely with basically anything that I draw. And I'm thinking about this hand and I'm like, would I keep this on a Mold of 6? And the answer is, of course, yes, I would keep this on a Mold of 6. So I am going to just keep it now. I did decide to trim a Mox Opal and replace it with a land. So I'm only playing 3 Mox Opals today. Devourer of Destiny revealed from the opening hand here. So we are playing against just colorless Eldrazi Tron. They exiled their basic swamp, and I drew Isochron Scepter. Of all possible things I could have drawn, that is actually, unfortunately, like the worst thing I could have done here is draw Isochron Scepter. That's really funny. That's a Glaring Fleshraker. That's really interesting. You know, this would actually be a really good deck to, oh, well, maybe not with Vexing Bauble anymore. Oh, that Vexing Bauble actually really hurts. I should have played out my zeros. And of course I drew Mox Opal. Well, my plan now is just to hope that the hero pops their Vexing Bauble. And that's a Karn the Great Creator. Nothing I could have really done about that. Ugh, all right. We are just getting absolutely destroyed here in the first game. And they've got a liquid metal coating. I think that it is time for me to just concede the game. I'm not going to give the hero any additional information. And we're going to begin sideboarding. So this sort of matchup is exactly why I have Terra Sunders in the deck. I'm going to try bringing these in and see what happens. Erode is interesting. We're going to see if that actually sticks around. Grafdigger's Cage can come out. Underworld Cookbook can come out. Would I rather have Drown in the Lock or would I rather have Erode? I'm not entirely certain. I could take out Drown in the Lock and just replace it with good old Counterspell or something like a Consign to Memory. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. If I can Scepter Chant this opponent, then I can just lock them out of the game because they're not really going to play much that will interact with that. Like Kozilek's Command, sure, yeah, I guess, but all of their powerful plays are at sorcery speed. You may notice that there is a lack of some critical functionality in this Lantern Control deck, and that is actually the discard. I'm not playing discard in this list. The big reason for that is that discard is sorcery speed, and I need instants. Okay, this is just Lantern into lock plus consign to memory. I will keep this hand. Good old Glimmer Void showing up. I think Glimmer Void will be okay though. That's an expedition map. Do I needle that? I don't think so. Oh, I found Terra Sunder. That's interesting. I am going to play out Lantern of Insight and I'm going to see what happens. I think I'm going to drop Pithing Needle on Ugin actually, and I'll let them have this Devourer of Destiny. And no, I don't want Torpor Orb for the Fleshrakers. It's a little bit too narrow in this situation, Lankey, I think. I'm looking for something a little bit broader than that. I can always use Erode to remove them. This is very clearly just hold open, activating Expedition Map. I'm going to be ready for this. I think Vexing Bauble is fine, actually. Like, if the hero spends their turn doing that. Ooh, interesting. Leading on the Glaring Fleshraker. I will let that go. I'm more worried about Karn right now. Vexing Bauble is gonna just have to happen. I can Terrace under that if I really need to. And they're just letting everything go, not doing anything else. I'm gonna see if I can dig myself into something decent here. Just a Seachrome Coast? All right, I'll take it. Do I play out Pithing Needle? And if so, what do I name? I think it might be a bit of a trap. Like, I could try and encourage them to pop this Vexing Bauble. I just don't think it's the right play to do that. And that's just Devourer of Destiny. Just letting that go. I can Terrace under that thing if I really need to. And there's a decent chance that I will. Well, I continue to just kind of hit nothing. Yeah, I'm going to Terrace under that thing. I don't really want them having this Chalice of the Void. And I also don't want the Spire of Industry on top of my deck either. All right, we're getting more Mill Rocks. I'm fine with this. Oh, there is Orm's Chant. Let's see if I can keep that on top of the deck. Interesting, just nothing at all, huh? That's really curious. Ugin is a dead card, more or less, so I am just going to keep that right there. What could they have in hand? They're just casting Ugin? Sure. Well, I know they have a dead card on top of their deck, but I really just want to kind of get the ball rolling here. So unfortunately, I need to use my Pyxis. And I'm just finding nothing. Well, Terra Sunder is actually a really good draw. So if I can draw that, then I'm going to be in pretty good shape, I think. And it looks like this hero has been pretty responsible with their deck building. They have basic Swamp and basic Waste in their list. Yeah, I'm going to draw this Terra Sunder. I can play Pithing Needle and Terra Sunder here. I think I'm going to just continue to hold. Yeah, I'm going to Terra Sunder this Glaring Fleshraker. I'm just going to do it. It's time. Still nothing. Well, I've got double Consign to Memory in hand now. They're kind of running out of possible things that could really terrify me. No Imprint on the Labyrinth. All the mana in the world and seemingly nothing to do with it. Meanwhile, my hand just continues to get stocked full of answers. Do I even care about 3-ball right now? No, I don't think I care about 3-ball. I think they can have it. 3-ball will allow me to actually cast my stuff properly. 3 mana Mishra's Bauble is better than 0, right? Got a full grip of cards, lots and lots of answers, and nowhere to park them. All right, I strongly suspect that they've just got nothing going on here. Just a handful of lands or something. Maybe their deck was built a little bit too responsibly. Maybe they've got too many lands in hand. Well, I found where I'm going to put my Pithing Needle. Just gonna slap that bad boy on Expedition Map. I know they probably don't have anything to grab, but if they have like a Sanctum of Ugin in their list somewhere, then I want to know about it. I think I'm willing to get rid of Word of Invention just to get rid of Karn the Great Creator as well. Okay, and here's my win condition. Finally found an Urza Saga. Just took 17 turns. Gonna discard this Mishra's Bauble to hand size just because I feel like it. And what do I even grab here? Probably just a Codex Shredder, right? Don't think it matters that much. Oh, the Stone Brain, how quaint. Now they're casting their Trinisphere. I don't really like this, and I don't know what that last card in hand is. I think I am going to consign this. Just once. Oh, they just wanted to draw the Stone Brain, huh? I'm gonna mill it. You can draw an Urza's Mine. Still one card left in hand that I don't know about. And apparently it's not good enough to beat all of this counter magic and answers and stuff. All right, that's not too terrible. Let's go ahead and start sideboarding again. Do I want to make any changes? Not really. I think I'm just going to run it back. I don't think I have shown my opponent an Isochron Scepter yet, but I did show them that I really just didn't care about Vexing Bauble, so maybe they'll take a hint from that. The wrong hint, hopefully. So now we've got a really interesting opener. I think Orm's Chant is not particularly strong, just kind of like this. Word of Invention is really far away. Really, the only strength of this hand is Consigned to Memory, because this deck can pretty easily beat an Ensnaring Bridge. I think this is a mulligan. And we get hit with this beauty. I think I will actually keep this, keeping all of the mill rocks, and I'm going to get rid of a Terrace Under. And I'm going to pray that they don't have a turn 1 Vexing Bauble. And that's a triple Devour of Destiny reveal. I am definitely leading on Codex Shredder here. They exiled 2 Kozilek's commands, a Chalice, a Trinisphere, a whole lot of stuff. And now I can actually do everything that I want. I'm going to play Great Hall into Codex Shredder, and then Bauble, and then Opal, and now I will play Lantern. Hugin's Labyrinth on top of their deck, Consigned to Memory on top of mine. I am going to take the Hugin's Labyrinth. They dug really deep to keep that on top. Oh, and they're on 1 land. All right, I know what I'm supposed to do now. We are going to hard lock this opponent off of lands. They kept a really spicy hand, and I am going to punish the heck out of it. Chalice of the Void on 0. I already have Mox Opal in play. I'm not going to take the bait on that. Oh, and we've got Ghoul Caller's Bell. We are off to the races, y'all. Whir of Invention on top of the deck. If that can stay there, then that's 4 mill rocks. This opponent is never recovering from this. Oh, this is delicious. This is fantastic. I have not locked an opponent in this way in a very long time. And they just give up. Karn the Great Creator on top of their deck, another one in hand, Chalice of the Void in play and in hand. They can't. I've got 3 mill rocks here, and I'm about to put a 4th into play. They will not see another land for the rest of the game. That's beautiful. I think I've peaked. It's all downhill from here, folks. All right, let's move on to match 2. My goodness. If you're enjoying the video and think you'd like watching more of what I make, please consider subscribing so YouTube can notify you when I go live and upload videos. I appreciate your support. Thank you. I am on the draw here in match 2 versus Bawer. I could choose to keep this hand. This hand will cast Lantern and then eventually also cast Whir of Invention. It's aggressively mediocre. I think I'm not going to keep mediocre. I think I'm going to mulligan. This is a much better hand. I can keep either Chant or Drown. I could bottom the Mishra's Bauble. I think I'm going to bottom the Mishra's Bauble. If I top deck a Mox Opal, I could play Urza Saga on turn 1. Let's just see what the hero does here. Bloodstained Mire, Fetch Shock into Blood Crypt for a Burning Inquiry. Yep, how bad is my hand? Not terrible. It could have been worse. They discarded their hollow one. Maybe they don't have another one. Nope, they had another one. And I drew land number 5. Well, I mean, this is kind of what Burning Inquiry does to people, though, isn't it? I think I'm going to play Great Hall of the Biblioplex into Mishra's Bauble and just pass turn. And that's just Nethergoyf from hand. All right, I am in trouble. Oh, they're playing Kroxa, the only legal Titan. Look at that. I'm going to keep the Mishra's Bauble in play. There is a decent chance that I kind of just have to play Seachrome Coast, kill their hollow one, and just take my medicine. I think I'm going to do that. It's going to delay my Urza Saga. Jeez. So I just take 3 from this, huh? I'm gonna get rid of Spire of Industry. I'm gonna have to take 3 from it. That is going to make the clock on their side a lot shorter. I'm drowning their hollow one now. They've got a ton of stuff in their graveyard, and they're just tar firing my face, sure. This Nethergoyf is a big chungus, though. That got a lot bigger than I was expecting. And that's Whir of Invention, but I don't have the resources necessary to actually fire it off on something useful. I think I'm just dead. I wasn't expecting this Nethergoyf to get as big as it did. Wow, I really got kind of beaten to a pulp by that deck. All right, if I had been on the play, I probably would have been in a much better position, but I was not on the play. So I was in trouble. Oh, what tools do I have to fight against this deck? I have Welding Jar, which is probably going to be better than a Pithing Needle. Seems like I'm already pretty well aligned to beat them up, though. I don't want any of my blue cards. I think I am just going to make this substitution, and I'm going to run it like this. Yeah, Bill, no portable hold today. We are playing Great Hall of the Biblioplex, and I refuse to play colored artifacts with that land. Okay, this is a quick lantern lock. I have Scepter, so if I happen to just find Orum's Chant, then I am pretty rolled up. I think I am going to take a risk and keep this. Great Hall into Shredder into Jar. Those are all down. Yikes, and that's another Burning Inquiry. I do not like that. Both my Lanterns and my Isochron Scepter discarded. That's actually pretty terrible. But I did top deck a Whir of Invention. So I'm just gonna play Hollowed Fountain. I'm going to cast all of my things, and I'm gonna pass turn. At least they did discard their Hollow one, and they didn't actually have a follow-up one this time. Yeah, Marauding Mako, that's fine. Another Marauding Mako. Do I use Mishra's Bauble here? I think the answer to this is yes. That's Underworld Cookbook. I don't think I want that. I think I want something stronger. Drown in the Lock. And that's Ensnaring Bridge. So I think the correct thing to do here is, even though it would be flashy, to Whir of Invention and find the other Isochron Scepter in my deck, I think I should just drop Ensnaring Bridge. I have Welding Jar to protect that, so it's gonna last me a little bit longer than it would otherwise. Yep, that is a Meltdown, but it's only for one. So that's gonna get rid of my Welding Jar. I think I'm going to regen my Pyxis, and I'll keep that. And now I have Orum's Chant. So I am going to just hold for a little bit. All my stuff is instants. I don't need to be firing stuff off right now. Obsidian Charma, huh? I could just counter this. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to use Great Hall, and I'm going to tap it for blue. And now I'm going to cast Whir of Invention, and I actually am going to grab Isochron Scepter here. Now the question is, do I just imprint Orum's Chant and lock them out of sorceries? Or do I imprint Drown in the Lock? And I think the answer to this is imprinting Orum's Chant. Meltdown is a sorcery. And yeah, that was just concession. Instant concession. So they don't have a way to play around that. That's really nice to know. This, wow. I didn't even get to activate it once. They just conceded the game. But now we're doing this on the draw. I think I'm going to just run it back just like that. It's the thing I said in the deck tech. It's the thing that I said. Whir of Invention can grab Isochron Scepter and imprint an instant out of your hand. Just glad that it worked. This is a really sketchy keep. I'm gonna mulligan this. Nothing to imprint on Scepter, not enough lands. Oh, this is also a really sketchy keep, but I think I actually do keep this one, and I'm gonna bottom the Scepter. I don't often recommend keeping triple Ursa Saga hands, but I think in this case, I kind of just have to. I mean, yeah, Mishra's Bauble, Urza Saga, Pyxis. A decent chance that I just get Mox Opal off this first Urza Saga. Ooh, Thoughtseize. Yeah, I mean, if you're taking time to Thoughtseize this hand, that's time you're not spending doing something else, I guess. Oh, and they're just surveilling. So a really slow start from the hero here. I do not believe it is correct for me to pop this Mishra's Bauble. I think I want my constructs to be as big as possible. Yeah, that's just a 2/3 Nethergoyf. And they're cycling a hollow one. Yeah, that is so slow. I mean, I'm going to take the damage. I think I'm still going to keep Mishra's Bauble in play. Whir of Invention as my draw. Well, I'm tapping this for mana for sure. What do I grab? I think Lantern of Insight, right? Although I did just say I was going to grab Mox Opal. I could grab Lantern next turn. But does Mox Opal actually help me here? I don't think Mox Opal helps me. I'm going to grab Lantern of Insight. Moon Shadow, that has Menace. If I put Hollowed Fountain into play right now, then that means I could Whir of Invention next turn. I think I'm going to do that. I am just going to make my construct now with this floating mana. That construct is a 5/5. That's a pretty chunky boy. They're trying to get their Nethergoyf larger. I think that's what they're doing with this Surveil here. Let's see what they attack with. Nothing. They attacked with nothing. All right, that's fine. I'm not creating a construct or anything off of this. I don't really have a use for the mana, and I don't think I'm going to pretend that I do. Although I could Whir for 3 and grab Ensnaring Bridge. I'm going to leave that option open, but this is certainly grabbing Mox Opal. Oh, but I have an Orum's Chant on top of my deck. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, I think I want this Orum's Chant. I am going to cycle this Mishra's Bauble now, and I'm just going to let that floating mana go. I'm glad that I left it floating, and I'm also glad that I didn't use it. Okay, Orm's Chant in hand, Mox Opal on top of my deck. Blood Crypt is a bad draw from the hero here. I am going to let them attack. They're probably just going to swing in with Moonshadow. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. I'm going to just take the hit. And we're at the end step. Y'all, you know what it's time to do. 1, 2, 3. Tap this guy, tap this guy. Word of Invention for 2. I am going to grab my Isochron Scepter. And we have another Orm's Chant on top of the deck just for good measure. And that's an instant concession. Oh, you'll love to see it. This hard lock actually winning games in the year of our Karanos 2026. What is this insanity? In Lantern control of all things. Did losing to my prison deck leave you feeling bitter and despondent? Work through the stages of your grief with a membership to Fate Seal Magic on Patreon, YouTube, or Twitch. As your grief matures, you'll gain perks like early video access, lessons and sideboard guides, featuring your deck in a video, and can even co-host a stream once you reach acceptance. Check my Discord server linked in the description for more information and to access your perks. I hope to see you on your path to healing. Okie dokie, I am on the draw here in match 3 versus whatever the heck this thing is. This hand really does not do much. I might keep it, I might not. The hero is asking, are you the Lantern guy? I'm going to hit him with the good old Lantern of Insight. Keep the dream going. Don't let your memes be dreams. Whatever. The weird thing about this hand, though, is like, if Grafdigger's Cage doesn't line up versus them and a Road doesn't line up, then it kind of does nothing. I need another blue source. I think I'm gonna keep it. I think I'm gonna keep it. I don't think this is a good keep. Honestly, I'm just flattered that my reputation precedes me. And that is Guide of Souls. So now that Flage has been banned, Grafdigger's Cage kind of just does nothing. I am going to play out Spire of Industry. Actually, I'm not going to play out Lantern yet. I am going to play Pyxis instead. Ajani Nakata Pariah, yeah, sure. Good thing that this Erode can hit both sides of it. And I really want to get this Word of Invention online as quickly as possible. Would love it if I could just draw a blue source right now. Hey, it's a blue source right now. Love to see that. Marsh Flats on top of their deck. Drown in the Lock on top of mine. I'm going to hold this Erode. I am almost certainly using Erode this turn. I just don't know on what yet. I am curious to see what these energy decks are up to after the ban. Ocelot Pride. I'm going to let that go. They are at 3 energy now. I've got Drown in the Lock on top of my deck. That's probably going to be more effective than making a construct. Oh, and it's nice to know that they're just kind of doing cat bombardment things. I really wonder if they are on 4 bombardments now that Flage is banned, or if they replaced it with some sort of other top deck, like a Legend of Roku, or maybe more Seasoned Pyromancers, or Ranger Captains, or something like that. I think I am just going to let this go. Yeah, they're just making their Cat Warrior bigger. I think that's fine. I am probably just going to take this hit, because I really just don't want Ajani flipping quite yet. Thraben Charm on my Urza Saga. How rude. Well, now I know what my job is. I am going to erode this Ajani now that they're tapped out, and that just worked. All right, and that's just Goblin Bombardment. Jeez, Thraben Charm hitting my land, that just kind of feels really bad. They've got Guide Pride going. I think it is time for me to exile here. Ooh, yikers. Goblin Bombardment is still there. I think I want this Orm's Chant just as a fog. Pyxis on top of my deck is unfortunate, but I don't think that there's really anything that I can do about keeping that there. I think I'm just going to take this bombardment now. Is that a 3rd bombardment? What on earth is going on? I am in pain. All right, get chanted. I don't think it's correct for me to sacrifice my Lantern here, but I pretty desperately need to find something good. So I am going to activate Pyxis. I don't want Ranger Captain on top of their deck right now either. And it's good old stinky Glimmer Void. Good old Glimmer Void. That's a Glimmer Void that I just drew. I could have Word there. I chose not to. But unfortunately, I think this 3rd Goblin Bombardment is just going to kill me. Because they swing in for what? 1, 5, 6, 7. And then they just sack their board and they just kill me. And that's just Spyro. Oh wait, their hand is not accurate. I think I should have been keeping better track of their hand here. I find it very interesting that they didn't just immediately drop Bombardment and murder me. I don't know why. Okay, so surely now they just drop Goblin Bombardment and murder my face, right? So it took them a little bit of time, but they did eventually just murder me. I am not going to be salty about them just having 3 bombardments in a row on top of their deck. I did what I could, and they just kind of ran away with the game. It's fine. It's a thing that happens. Let's move on. So believe it or not, but I actually do not have a good answer to energy because I did not do a good job sideboarding. I think I am going to keep both of my needles in. I think Grafdigger's Cage can come out. I was already siding out Grafdigger's Cage back when Flage was still a thing, but now that Flage isn't a thing, I'm definitely siding it out. And I think Drown in the Loch can also come out. I am going to bring in Stern Scolding. Ooh, but do I want a Welding Jar? Wear Tear's basically the only thing that I would be afraid of, so I kind of want to bring it in. Do I side out something else? I could take a real big risk and side out another Pithing Needle. I don't think that's the play, because this is really my only answer to a resolved Goblin Bombardment. I have a road for Ajani, but I don't want to be digging for it. I think I'm just going to cop out and sideboard out a Mishra's Bauble. Just take the coward's path. Can't think of anything else to side out, just side out a Bauble. It's fine. Certainly not going to mess with the numbers on anything, right? Certainly not a reason that we play Mishra's Baubles in a deck that has Mox Opals and Whirs of Invention, right? At least I lost this game in a relatively fast amount of time. And this hand is terrible. Can't keep that. Ship. Okay, here we go. This is Stern Scolding on the play. I am going to bottom probably Spire of Industry. And we are going to go Mishra's Bauble into Seachrome Coast. Into hopefully Stern Scolding your thing. Guide of Souls. I think I'm going to let that go. I could have Scoldinged it. I think I'm going to save it for something worse. Mox Opal is my draw. That doesn't particularly help me. I don't even think I'm going to cast it. I think I'm just going to hold open Scolding again. All right, here we go. This is a much juicier target for the Stern Scolding. Get the heck out of here. Don't want to play against a Voice of Victory. That's just way too much clock way too quickly. I'm not going to pop Mishra's Bauble. I just don't think I need to. I drew a land, which is a little bit poopy-oopy, but I think it's going to be okay. I am going to cast Mox Opal. I am going to cast Ensnaring Bridge. They've got Guide Pride now, but I do have Ensnaring Bridge lowered. I'm not as worried about it. They binned an Arid Mesa off of that Surveil, it looks like. I do not believe it is correct for me to pop Mishra's Bauble yet. Just gonna kind of hope that I don't have a land here and it's in a road. Okay, well, I can hold a road for a little bit. I don't need to fire that off quite yet. One of the lovely things about playing so many instants in your deck that you can kind of just, you know, cast them whenever you want to. Do I take this damage? I'm at 18. I think I can afford to take 3 just to see what they do with the rest of their turn cycle. And that's tapping out for something disgusting. So that's the Legend of Roku. They are going to exile the top 3 cards of their deck. Let's see what they hit. They hit Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Guide of Souls, Marsh Flats. I'm going to continue holding this Erode. Oh, that's a Whir of Invention. Okay, so that's 2 instants that I can now cast at instant speed. I think I'm going to continue to just hold the Erode here, adding a white. They got to play Guide of Souls, right? No, they don't have to play Guide of Souls. I am just going to go ahead and boop this Ocelot Pride now. Get booped. And I think it's time to cast Whir of Invention, so I will do that. I don't really know what I'm going to grab yet, though. I could tap out and find myself like an Ensnaring Bridge, or I could just grab like Lantern of Insight, and I think I am actually going to just grab Lantern of Insight. If I was going to do that, maybe I should have left Mishra's Bauble untapped so that I could cycle into things. Urza Saga's a pretty dang good hit, though. I'm not mad about that. Not mad about that in the slightest. For the time being, I think I am okay. Yeah, never mind. I'm not okay. So that's Wrath of the Skies. They're going to wipe the entire everything I ever have known or loved. It's all gone. It's just all gone. And I think that Wrath of the Skies is going to win them the game. Shame I wasn't able to get Scepter Chant set up. If I had been able to do that, then I would have been able to stop that Wrath of the Skies, actually. But now I just have this middling Urza Saga. Yeah, tapping that Mishra's Bauble was just bad. That was just not good of me to do. That cost me an additional card. I could have also grabbed welding jar off of that Whir of Invention, and I could have regenerated my bridge and saved it from the destruction. I didn't do that. Wow, that's another Legend of Roku. Yeah, you got it, friend. For double Goblin Bombardment. Okay, I get it. I could have played this a little bit cleaner, I think. But still, this is a pretty thorough beating that I'm getting. I am just going to go ahead and animate my Great Hall. And I'm going to F6. Yeah, energy is kind of hard. It's a difficult deck to play against, but at the same time, like, I could have done things differently. Oh, I hit a drown in the lock. So this means that I could drown their avatar Roku while it is not able to create the big scary dragon. So I think I will do that. Right, I don't control a artifact, so I have to use Great Hall. Thank you, Great Hall of the Biblioplex, by the way. Just being an absolute peach. Okay, Roku is off the table. Reflection of Kiki Jiki is on the table. And I'm still very much in just... Oh, geez. Yeah, that guy, huh? Just try and stay alive. Oh, never mind. Nope, Ocelot Pride's down. All right, I don't think that this game is winnable. This game's definitely not winnable. I would need to hit Ensnaring Bridge basically immediately. Wait, no, I don't think that's good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this game's over. Okay, so the Wrath of the Skies was pretty rough. Now, there are some things to be said about this, though. First off, I did not play optimally into the Wrath of the Skies. I could have word for a welding jar. I could have asked myself, what can you lose to? And the answer is probably Wrath of the Skies. So I could have just grabbed the welding jar, or yeah, basically just jar. That would have been the only thing I could have gotten. But also, I had to cut discard in order for this deck to function. An Inquisition of Kozilek or a Duress at any point in the game would have been able to take that Wrath of the Skies out of their hand. And I didn't have it because I didn't build the deck that way. So there are benefits to playing like this, and there are downsides to playing like this. We are going to see if those downsides continue to get any bigger as we go into match 4. I am on the play in match 4 versus TheRightStuff. Let's just hope that I have TheRightStuff versus TheRightStuff. Oh, this is Isochron Scepter Imprinting Drown in the Lock. It's backed by Urza Saga. I think I'll keep this for science. Just gonna play a Seachrome Coast and pass the turn. They've got a Meticulous Archive. Binning Guide of Souls. So we're playing against some sort of blue-white energy thing. I'm going to do the thing. Drown in the Lock is underneath the Isochron Scepter now. I get to kill one thing a turn. Now, whether that's good enough or not, I don't know. All right, they're just riddling. Oh, I guess I also get to counter one spell a turn, but as long as the spell is low enough mana value. Really wishing that this was an Orm's Chant underneath this Drown in the Lock. That would have been really nice, but I kind of just took what I had. I am going to hold open making a construct or chanting something, or sceptering something, I guess, drowning something, whatever the words are for this. Oh no, it's my nemesis, a prismatic ending on Isochron Scepter with a Drown in the Lock underneath of it, where the prismatic ending's mana value is 2. Oh, but it was only cast with 1 color. So this is not going to do the thing that they wanted to do because they mistapped their mana. Pay attention, folks. Pay attention. So now the hero just kind of spent their turn doing that. And yeah. Sorry, friendo. Get beat to death with an Urza Saga construct. And of course, now I hit the Orm's Chant. I am going to create the construct. And now the question is, do I just grab Lantern and Pyxis and just start doing stuff? I think the answer to this question is yes. Like, I could just continue holding open Scepter Chant, but I don't think that's beneficial for me. I could have even made a construct and then just grabbed Mox Opal, but I don't think I want to do that. Felia is just a little bit too slow here. They're fetching with Marsh Flats. I'm going to read this a little more carefully. When it enters, search your library for a basic Plains card or a creature card with mana value 1 or less, and then tutor it into your hand. It's got Warp. I think that's fine. I think they're underneath too much pressure here. Yeah, Quantum Riddler, that's not going to save you. I'm sorry. So they can Hollowed Fountain, and they can probably flash in Felia. I'm just not particularly worried. Like, they'd have to either blink Quantum Riddler right now using like an Ephemerate, or do that. Casting Solitude, that's fine. That's a thing you can do too. So Felia's gone. Yeah, they're taking out one of my constructs. That's okay. And they're replicating Consign on the Evoke. Oh, on both of these. So they get to keep both of them around. That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. Now what do? I think I'm okay drawing this Orm's Chant. Ensnaring Bridge on top of my deck. So that'll shut down creature combat if I want to take that path. I think I am the aggressor here. I'm going to swing with my construct. And we're going to see if they try to block. They do, just with Solitude. Yeah, that's okay. All right, I'm going to continue to hold open everything. Do I want to Orm's Chant them? Yeah, I think I do. I just kind of want to keep the board as it is right now. But I'm not going to shut off their attacks. It's just not relevant. Sure, bonk me with this Quantum Riddler. See how much I care. Okay, it is time to create a construct. And I think I'm getting rid of Solitude. I think I'm going to try and go for the kill here. Oh, Flagstones of Trocaire. That tells me that they probably had a White Orchid Phantom in their deck somewhere. How interesting. Now, do I create a third construct? I don't think I do. I think I am just going to float here. And honestly, I'm just going to grab Codex Shredder. I'm going to pay the 2 life, and I could chant them right now. And then I could use Drown in the Lock underneath this Isochron Scepter to destroy the Quantum Riddler and then swing for lethal. I think that's a bit aggressive. I think I am just going to let my mana burn off, and I am going to swing with these constructs. They have to block one of these, and they are choosing to. All right, and upkeep, I am going to pick this Orm's Chant, and now they can't really do anything about it. And I win the game. So notably, Isochron Scepter didn't really do all that much in this game, at least on the surface. But the threat of just being able to counter and destroy their stuff was looming over that entire game. And I think that it was worth something. If it had eaten just a Prismatic Ending on turn 2 or whatever it was, and they had tapped their mana correctly, I think I probably would have still won that, although it would have been harder. But the real MVPs here were the double Orm's Chants. Being able to tempo them out with these constructs and just paralyzing them completely, that's really nice. So this deck is a lot more blinky than some of the other decks that we play, so I am going to put Torpor Orb in. I think at the expense of a Pithing Needle. Underworld Cookbook can probably also come out. And I think I want Welding Jar in its place. No, wait, no. Underworld Cookbook stays in. I was saying Grafdigger's Cage. That's what I meant. That's what I meant to say. But I didn't even do it, or say it, or whatever correctly. It's fine. Do I want anything else? Consigns, I don't think I want those. Counterspell, not particularly. Drown's already kind of my counterspell. I am just going to run it like this, and we're going to see what happens. And we've got another Urza Saga hand. I am going to keep this. They have Felias in their deck, so it's not like Urza Saga is foolproof. But I'm feeling a little spicy here. Okay, the hero mold to 6. They're leading off of a Flagstones of Trocaire. Oh, and I just ripped the Ensnaring Bridge. That feels great. Just Flooded Strand pass, huh? All right. Well, I hit Mox Opal. I don't think I'm going to play it out. I think I'm just going to hold open Orm's Chant, I guess. Don't really know how good that is. It's possible I should have played Spire of Industry, but they don't have a graveyard right now. So Drown in the Lock's not really going to do much. And are they just flashing in a Felia? Looks like that's what they're doing. Yep. All right, that Felia will need to get dealt with before I make any constructs, probably. Warping in a Starfield Shepherd here. They are going to search their deck for something. Let's see what they grab. Just Guide of Souls, that's fine. That's a nice little Trixie. I like that little Trixie. I find it very interesting that they didn't cast their Guide of Souls here. I don't know how much I like that. I don't know how much I like that at all, actually. Ooh, a Road, that's huge. So I could play Spire of Industry and then cast this Mox Opal. Don't think they have Wrath of the Skies. I can wait for them to fetch. Oh, they have Shadowy Backstreet in their list. That's interesting. Thinning of Plains. Do I want to just make the construct and then erode their Felia? I think I do. All right, that just worked. Shadowy Backstreet is really interesting. So that means that they are playing... Oh, well, there's Wrath of the Skies. All right, so they did have it. I was just a very silly goose. This means that they're on Esper. Yeah, if I had just held open Drown in the Lock, then that Wrath of the Skies would not have been a problem. And now they're dumping their hand. Fire of Industry is my draw per turn. I think I'm just going to put Ensnaring Bridge into play. I have a ton of cards in hand still. I'm going to have to get rid of them. I think that's all right. I am going to take a hit here. Yep, that's their hit. I'm at 9 now. They're at 21. And I kind of have a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with here. I think I am going to chant them on the upkeep here. But I am at a relatively low life total. Oh no, they have something. March of Otherworldly Light on my Ensnaring Bridge. That's disgusting. And the Drown in the Loch just hasn't lined up. If I had just chanted them not casting spells, I could have held open Drown in the Loch. But now I am in trouble, actually. Yeah, March of Otherworldly Light specifically is a pretty big deal. And I've got nothing. I can't win this now. That's unfortunate. Maybe some minor sequencing issues from me. Yeah, not super optimal play. But it was also a really hard matchup, I think. Maybe if I had been a little less keen on getting constructs in under Ophelia, then I could have done something. I don't think I need to do anything else here. I think I'm just going to continue running this back. Knowing that they have March of Otherworldly Light specifically, it will tax my Drown in the Lochs, especially if they can pitch enough cards to it. So that does make Scepter Chant worse. I think I'm going to keep this hand. It will find a Mill Rock on turn 2 if I want it to. Yeah, they've just got Felia just face up, just right there. Consign to Memory, huh? That does make me want to cast out my stuff. I think I can beat a Consign to Memory. And that's just Wrath of the Skies for 0. This will literally only take my Mox Opal, and I guess it'll force me to cycle the Mishra's Bauble. I am going to cast this first Whir of Invention now. And I'm going to grab probably Codex Shredder. I don't think they use their graveyard all that much. Mishra's Bauble is fine. I think I am actually going to mill this Hollowed Fountain. Yeah, there's more lands in my deck, but I'm looking for more action. Spire of Industry and Mystic Gate showing up. They've got a Quantum Riddler. I think I'm just going to let them have it. Guide Pride is down. Looks like they are going aggro now. Do I want to erode one of these things? I'm going to mill myself first and then decide after that. I've got Orm's Chant here. I'll be fine. Oh, they didn't play another land. They didn't play another land. So I could possibly go for the instant speed Isochron Scepter here. That might be a thing I do. Although they could just consign the Isochron Scepter enters imprint trigger. So maybe I don't go for that. Maybe I should have thought of that a little bit earlier, huh? I am going to mill myself. I don't want this Pithing Needle. Really don't want this Seachrome Coast either. Yeah, if I were of Invention right now, then it's just going to eat a Consign to Memory. That's not something that I had really thought of. I'm just going to go to my next turn. I'm going to take this suboptimal draw. Marsh Flats for them. Played immediately. I'm going to let them do it. I can erode something if I really need to. And I do think I really need to. I think I'm going to erode the cat. Yeah. Save myself a little bit of damage. Or do I go for the Guide of Souls? I think I'm going to erode. It's a bit tricky, isn't it? Because they're probably going to be getting the City's Blessing here in a second anyway. And I've only got the one Whir of Invention. Maybe I don't erode anything. Maybe I just let it go. Yeah, they know what they're doing. Dang it. They just know what they're doing. Lantern of Insight on top of my deck is not great. I think I am going to erode probably the Guide of Souls, honestly. Consign to Memory in hand is not fun. And they have just a ton of cats now. If I draw this Lantern of Insight, then I am locked into using Orm's Chant. I think I am going to mill myself another Lantern. Okay, that's another Orm's Chant on top of my deck. If I just had like one more turn, then I could have chanted into Whir Imprint Chant. But I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm too far behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can cast this and still have enough material left to Whir for Ensnaring Bridge, except I have to cast Orm's Chant because they've got a bunch of 1/1s. No, they tapped out of blue. You have got to be kidding me. So what would that have meant? I guess I still didn't have enough mana to do all the things that I wanted to do. And they could still fetch with Marsh Flats. Yeah, I have to burn Orm's Chant here, unfortunately. Still 2 unknown cards in hand here. I am going to draw this Orm's Chant, and I just have to fire this off on their upkeep. It just has to happen. I'm gonna try and dig myself into something a little bit better than this Erode. Island is fine, I guess. Just completely dead to a March of Otherworldly Light or a Prismatic Ending or something like that. The Fairy Time Raveler will also do it. I'm gonna concede to that. They just needed to have Stone Cold Nothing, and I didn't make them have Stone Cold Nothing. So this game, I believe, was brought to you by me not playing around Consigned to Memory. I could have probably gotten Scepter Chant up at an earlier time in the match. I just didn't, because I didn't think I needed to. And by the time I figured out that, oh yeah, they can consign the Isochron Center imprint trigger, then it was just a little bit too late. Mistakes were definitely made. Let's not make those same mistakes again. On to match 5. I am on the play here in match 5 versus mechrataal. We are fighting for a positive record here. This hand is 4 lands, yes, but it's got Chant in it, it's got Drown in it. These are 2 decent pieces of interaction. It has Urza Saga, which can eventually find a Lantern of Insight. It's a fairly weak keep. There are problems with it, but I think I will keep it. Great Hall into Pyxis. Pass turn. Mishra's Bauble right off the bat, huh? Bobbling yourself into Steam Vents, into Preordain. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that. So it looks like we are playing against Prowess here. Not a bad deck to have mainboard Scepter Chant in against. Oh, let's go ahead and do the thing while they're tapped out. Orm's Chant underneath Isochron Scepter. Let's go. Can you beat this, Prowess? In the main board even? You're gonna get this turn to do stuff, and that's it. Ouch, I am at 17, and I fear that might not be good enough. Let's go ahead and start chanting you. Now, the question here is, do I grab Lantern or do I grab a Mox Opal so that I have a pain-free source of casting Chant? I think the answer is Lantern. Oh, they've got flashbacks, huh? That's interesting. Oh, with Mox Opal on top of my deck? Yeah, especially. Let's just go ahead and pop this Mishra's Bauble now. Gonna go ahead and just play this Great Hall. And that's a concession. Wow, that was beautiful. Scepter Chant for the win again. With the Lantern Lock assembled, they had nothing that they could do. All right, we take our cheese wins against Prowess where we can get them. Let's see what the sideboard has for us. Usually these decks are on stuff like Expressive Iteration, Meltdown. So Scepter is gonna line up fairly well against that. Grafdigger's Cage, I think I want in. Pithing Needles can probably come out. And Drown is a little expensive. So I can bring in stuff like Stern Scolding and Welding Jar. This hand has 2 baubles, Ensnaring Bridge in hand, Orm's Chant already. I think I'm gonna keep it. That's a Swift Spear, just completely naked it looks like. All right, that's fine. Into another Chant. I think I'm going to play out my Codex Shredder. If they have something like a Quarry Steel Cutter here, I think I'm just gonna have to be okay with that. No, it's just another Swift Spear and a Preordain. Well, they went O top 2 bottom with the Preordain. That's pretty good for me. I like that. I am going to pop 1 Mishra's Bauble, see what's on top of my deck. Ooh, that is an Urza Saga. I think I want that. I think I'm gonna keep it. Another Ensnaring Bridge. All right. I think I'm going to chant them this turn. I can't kick it. This is mostly just to keep them from growing their Swift Spears and developing their board. Okay, so I have options. I can either create a construct or I can cast Ensnaring Bridge. Both of those options want me to keep Mishra's Bauble in play, so let's just see what I draw. Seacrum Coast. Oh man, if they can sign this Urza Saga trigger, that would be so lovely. Please do that. Oh my goodness, they're going for it. With Replicate even. They can't handle the constructs. Well, I hate to say it, friend, but I don't just make constructs. Ensnaring Bridge in play. They're gonna get a Surveil off Thundering Falls. I am going to take it if they leave it on top, and they didn't. I still have 3 cards in hand, so I can still take a decent chunk of damage here. And I am only at 12, and that's a Violent Urge, land, instant sorcery, and that's gonna be an artifact. Yeah, this actually might be lethal. Yikes, this is gonna be lethal. Jeez. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, I'm dead, just like that. They just powered through it. They did not care. So yeah, it's stuff like Consigned to Memory that I need to be aware of. I think we can beat it though. Let's just run it back. This is a really interesting hand. This hand wants to draw a 1 mana artifact. It could also probably get away with drawing like an Isochron Scepter. I think I'm going to keep it. I think I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here. I'm feeling like I want to do that. I wouldn't blame you for shipping this, but I think that a lot of draws improve this hand quite a bit. Like a 1-mana artifact, a welding jar or something like that. A land, honestly, wouldn't be half bad. Just going to get all this stuff in underneath consigned to memory here. No way, just tapped Steam Vents? They've got to have Meltdown or something in their hand. I smell it. And that's a Pyxis of Pandemonium. That unlocks my entire hand, just like that. That is a Quarry Steel Cutter. I'm gonna let that go. I could have drowned that. I don't think that's correct. Oh, they're gonna see what I draw here. It's just another Pyxis. I don't have the land, so I'm not going to be casting that, unfortunately. That's another Quarry Steel Cutter. Ooh, that's really a lot of those. Yeah, maybe I should have drowned the Quarry Steel Cutter earlier. I think I am going to counter this. Although, if I just make the construct, then that's already a 4/4. I'm going to let it go. Really should have countered this guy, though. And I think they are doing this the correct way. So my construct's not going to survive here. I could still just Orms chant them. I don't think that's good. I'm going to let them get their attack in. And they are just doing it with this monk. I think they should have done it with this one as well, because it would have made this block a lot more difficult. Yeah, I'm just going to let that go. All right. Now what? I found Basic Island. I could tap Mox Opal for blue right now. Float off of Urza Saga. Get another Mox Opal. Play Island. Have the floating from Urza Saga and have the Spire of Industry. No, that's not really a thing that I can do. Wait, I could do something else. Hang on, everybody. Hold on to your horses. So I could float off of Urza Saga. I could use Mox Opal, get a new Mox Opal. I could use this one, plus this island, plus this Spire of Industry. We're for 2. I don't think that's correct. I don't think I should do that. I'm trying to find ways to make it so that I can whir for the Isochron Scepter and also activate it this turn. But I don't think it's going to work like that. Instead, I could Urza Saga, just tap for mana, grab like an Underworld Cookbook, discard the Drown in the Lock, make a food, possibly keep myself alive. I would have a ton of blockers. I could grab Lantern of Insight, make sure that I stay alive, more or less. And I could still Whir of Invention for Ensnaring Bridge in an emergency if I needed to. I think that's the line. I don't think that I'm going to get crazy with Scepter Chant right now. I think I can still probably do it. I just don't have the resources to do it right this second. All right, tapping Urza Saga for mana. I'm going to search my deck for Lantern of Insight specifically. I'm gonna cast Pyxis of Pandemonium. Gonna play this island. Okay, now I have a 6/6 construct, and the dream of getting Isochron Scepter is still live. They have Lava Dart in their graveyard. They have 4 cards in hand. That is a lot of cards. Do I let them have this Mishra's Bauble? It seems like I have a lot of draw control available right now, but I need to keep Whir of Invention for Ensnaring Bridge open. I think I'm going to let them have the Bauble. Really glad I did, because that's a meltdown right there. Slick Shot Show Off. I'm going to let that happen. A lot of stuff is going to happen here, and they're just moving to combat. I hate to say it, but I think I need to burn the Orms chant right now, so I'm going to do it. Creatures can't attack this turn. Okay, now what? I have this Drown in the Lock in hand that I need to get rid of. Meltdown's got to go off the top of their deck. Seachrome Coast is kind of an draw for me. That Lava Dart just has to get exiled. Great Hall of the Biblioplex, huh? I'm wishing I didn't have this Drown in the Lock in hand. I'm really wishing that. I think there's a very good chance that I just die with it in hand. I think I need to get rid of their Monastery Swiftspear. I just kind of need to not have any more problems. Oh, Mox Opal would have been a perfect draw. Oh, I guess it wouldn't have been perfect because I wouldn't have had the Great Hall in hand. Oh, geez. Okay. This is really not fun for me. So, Arid Mesa. I didn't see what they drew beyond that. I know they have Arid Mesa in hand, but I didn't see what their other draw was. I feel like I should have. I just kind of missed it, I guess. I'm going to let them have the Consigned to Memory. Whir of Invention for Ensnaring Bridge plays around that. Okay. Arid Mesa is down. I'm going to assume that Consign is in hand, but I'm not going to actually mark it down. A lot of their stuff is officially too big to attack through an Ensnaring Bridge, which is really good for me. And we're moving to combat. All right, Whir of Invention as my saving grace here. Oh, wait, I have Mox Opal. I can make this less painful. And should I play around something like a Force Spike type effect? I don't think I should. I think if they have a counterspell, then I'm just kind of dead anyway. All right, that just worked. Ensnaring Bridge, backup plan. Basically, all of their, actually, literally every single thing that they have cannot attack. All right, I'm gonna get rid of that Fiery Islet. And I think I can afford to find a slightly better draw than Spire of Industry here. Ooh, Isochron Scepter was basically the perfect pickup. Yeah, that is a much better draw. So let's go ahead and drop Scepter. They might consign this. I'm sure that they picked up consign earlier. Yeah, there it is. Like, that's fine. Okay, Monastery Swiftspear is their draw, and there she is. Wish I knew what their last card in hand was. If that's a Meltdown, then I'm kind of in trouble. Okay, let's go ahead and cast this. I'm going to destroy one of their Dragon's Rage channelers. I just need to get it out of hand. I have a feeling that if they had Meltdown, then they wouldn't be giving me an opportunity to rebuild. They would just be casting Meltdown. So I am going to behave as if the game is locked up, which means I need to start winning. Drown in the lock in hand again, that's fine. I unfortunately must get rid of this, or the drown at least. I'm just gonna counter it. Okay, so the last card in hand was Preordain. Not gonna lie, that's a pretty good last card to have in hand, and I am gonna take that Meltdown. All right, let's see if I win the game here or not. Spell Pierce. All right, I win. Expressive Iteration on top of their deck, I don't really like that. I am going to attempt to mill it. They have a Fiery Islet here, and it looks like they are cracking it, so we're gonna have to do a little more work than just this. Mishra's Bauble is fine. And they just give it up. That was great. Wow, we got to Scepter Chant lock some people. We got to do some Lantern locking. We got to do all sorts of locking today. I am not mad in the slightest. Let's go ahead and wrap up the league here. So this was a positive record with Scepter Chant and Lantern Control. I can't actually believe I'm saying that. That's really wild. We did some Lantern locking. We did some Scepter Chanting. We did some beating down with Urza Saga constructs while Orym's chant locking people. Like, it was just, this went a lot smoother than I was expecting. There are still some things that I need to work on as far as play patterns for this deck, and the sideboard needs help. It's just, this is not well put together. But I think there might be something with this idea. There just might be something interesting here. I think I'm going to take this for a spin again, and we're gonna see if we can actually make some sort of beautiful, disgusting hybrid out of this. I'm having fun. I liked playing this deck. I think it was halfway decent if you know how to play it correctly and, you know, play around consigned to memory properly. But still, really interesting. This program is made possible by generous funding from these sponsors, and also by your view, like, and comment, the support of my wife and son, and by contributions to Fate Seal Magic from viewers like you. Thank you.